Hello, everyone. This is Naim, wedding celebrant in Paris, and welcome to the French Wedding Show, where it is my job to introduce to you some of the best wedding vendors in Paris and in France. Bonjour and welcome to another exciting episode of the Paris Wedding Show. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Virginie Mention, the mastermind behind Ceremonize, a premier wedding planner service based in the heart of Paris. Virginie has built a stellar reputation for creating bespoke, unforgettable weddings for couples from around the globe. In this episode, I delve into her journey, her unique approach to wedding planning, and the secrets behind her success. Whether you're dreaming of a romantic Parisian elopement or a grand French château celebration, Virginie's insight will inspire and guide you, so stay tuned for an episode filled with passion, expertise, and insider tips on making your wedding dreams come true in France. Don't miss out on this captivating conversation. This is Virginie Mention on the Paris Wedding Show. Virginie, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Naim.
Thank you for being here. And this sounds a little bit weird because you and I are French native. And 1 minute ago, when we were starting the recording, we were speaking French. But now suddenly we have to switch in English because we want to, and because this is the Paris Wedding Show where we explore vendors and planners all around France, especially Paris. For English speakers, welcome again to the audience. So welcome again to you, Virginie. Do you want to introduce yourself for those who don't know you yet?
Yes, thank you, Naim, for the invitation. I'm Virginie Mention. My company is Ceremonize. We can also say Ceremonize if you want. I've created this company 15 years ago, and we specialized in creating weddings for people from abroad, especially American people that have decided to come to Paris to organize their beautiful day. So we are here to help them.
And what inspired you to become a wedding planner and start Ceremonize?
Well,
big question, but it's important.
Yes, to long story short, for as long as I remember, I always liked to plan things.
Okay.
Parties, holidays, events, etc. And I decided to make my passion a job. And that's why I started with Ceremonize, to help people organize their weddings, because to me it's important to celebrate. Celebrating is important to me.
So celebrate, you leave the celebration especially for the bride and groom, and you organize all the planning, everything for them to enjoy the celebration.
Yes, that's it.
And was it hard to start? Because you and I are both French people, of course, and we know how difficult it is in France to start a business, not because there is no business, but mostly because there is little entrepreneurship spirit. So when you started this, did you had any challenge or struggle?
I don't think so. It was clear to me that I was made to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And it was quite easy for me because my training I had some training in this field, administration, accountancy, etc. So it was pretty easy to me to start my company.
Good. And so when you started wedding in Paris, planning a wedding in Paris, why does it differ? How is it different from other destinations? Can you give some examples?
I don't think it's different from another destination. It's just different in the way that if you come to Paris, if you are not French or if you are not resident in Paris, it's different because you discover another culture. Everything is new for you when you come to Paris for your wedding. So either in Paris or another country, to me, there's no such difference because you discover in each country the culture. The tradition also can be different.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
And how do you start when people reach out to you on your website, or I guess on Instagram or any other medium? How do you start the conversation? What do you ask? What is important for you to know about them?
Well, the most important is to know the vision of the couple because each wedding is different. And it's important to me to personalize the wedding to the couple. So we have to ask how they envision their wedding,
Mhm.
what they exactly want, how do they imagine this day.
So you first
And
first you start with the vision, and then from there,
yes,
what's going on?
yeah,
Then you go to the
exactly.
administrative details and planning and like a pyramid, kind of.
Yes, exactly. That's it.
Do you recommend, obviously you are a wedding planner, so you recommend a wedding planner for the wedding, but besides that, do you think it's very important to have someone like you? Because like, do you know the trend? Obviously the trend is some people are saying, no, we don't need a planner, we can do it all by yourself, which it's true, you can do it by yourself,
Mm.
but what's the difference? Waste of time, waste of energy, stress.
A lot of things. I've been a bride also, planning my own wedding abroad.
Mhm.
So I perfectly know that how it feels like to organize a wedding in a foreign country. As I said, you have the cultural difference, the tradition difference, and of course you can organize by yourself your own wedding, but there are things that are how can I say that are difficult to catch
Mhm.
because you don't have the automatism, you don't have the experience, and you don't know how it happens in this country. So as you don't know the habits, the costumes, the culture, yes, there's also the language barrier
Yes.
as well, the time difference also. So to me, it's easier to have one person that centralize everything, that is your unique contact, and that helps you, guide you, advise you on different things. And this person knows also how to deal with the different providers. That's why you need to hire a wedding planner.
That was the perfect sales pitch from Virginie. Now you have to hire a wedding planner. No, but besides the joke, this is truly important, and what you say is true. I realized many times I've been working with many couples who had a wedding planner and some who had not a wedding
Mm,
planner. Uh, it's not a black or white thing.
mm,
Obviously, it's not always a chaos when you don't have a planner, and it's
of
not
course.
always the best when you have a planner. But you tend to see, like you say, you tend to see some feedback from international brides who are just, for example, very upset about some cultural thing that you can find in France. It can be, for example, your venue doesn't answer your emails, for example,
Mm,
or
exactly.
like any other details like this, which is not big, but when you're planning your wedding, it is your wedding, so you're already in it, and you don't want to deal with all this cultural things or waste of time or anything like that when you're planning from another country. So
Mm,
I agree with you. This can be sometimes problematic, and
yeah,
this is why you're paying someone to do it,
exactly.
to do it properly.
Yes.
So it's a matter of time and energy, as always.
Yes.
What's the best time of year to get married in Paris, according to you?
I would recommend summertime, of course. because days are longer, the time is better also. But we have nice weddings during spring.
Spring, yeah.
In September, October, we have nice weddings also.
My
So
favorite time is September. I
yeah,
really like it. After August, after the heat, everybody
yes,
goes back to business, and you're not in the middle of traffic, and the heat is still okay. There's great weather, so
yeah,
September is my go-to.
yeah,
Even me as an officiant, this is what I prefer. The
yeah,
weather and the energy is different. Really
yes,
beautiful.
that's true.
And do you know any can you share any tips, like important tips or advice for couples planning a destination wedding in Paris?
Well, just like I said, my advice would be to hire a wedding planner, of course.
First of
And
all.
first of all, but no, it's when you decide to plan a destination wedding, be sure of your destination. And sometimes, well, no, mostly it's people come to Paris because there's an history with Paris. For example, they came 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago and made a proposal in Paris, so they wanted um, to to organize their wedding there, or because they have roots. For
Oh,
example, we had some of our brides and grooms that have a grandmother or grandfather that was French, for example. So to me, it's nice to have a history with your destination wedding.
it's true that there's a lot of people now who are coming here because, yeah, they have a history. Like a couple
Mm,
of mine, their parents, the bride's parents, got engaged in Paris, exactly at the
mm,
same place where we did their
yeah,
elopement. That was beautiful, by the way. And also the historical roots of the family. I heard that a lot. So it's a
yeah,
trend. French is popular. France is
yeah.
France will always be France. It's true.
Yes, and it's a romantic country as well, you can say.
I hope the audience is very happy to hear two French nationals being proud of France and,
Yeah,
and promoting France. But this is important. We have a big history, culture, and some
yeah.
beautiful spots and beautiful places. So, talking about beautiful spots, do you know some hidden gem venues in France outside of Paris that you would recommend? You don't have to share everything that you know, but
Yeah, no, actually, there are so many
that's
places.
so many. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Close to Paris or in another area. For
Hmm.
example, in the south of France, you have a lot of gems.
Yeah.
In Bordeaux as well. So
Yeah,
really,
Bordeaux.
we can say that France in general offers a lot of nice venues. It
They're
depends
every
on the sorry, it depends on the atmosphere that you want. If you want
absolutely.
something, um, uh, I don't know how to say, but if you are a wine amateur,
Yeah.
you can organize a wedding in Bordeaux or
Oh
in
my
the
God.
Loire Valley. So
Yes.
it depends on what you are looking for, but we can find a lot of gems.
I agree with it. With the wine enthusiast and the champagne
Yeah,
enthusiast. I had a couple who wanted to do their elopement near Reims, which is
yeah,
the cornerstone of the Champagne region.
yeah,
And obviously, they were doing a champagne tasting in the wine cellars right over there. That was a beautiful day, and then they invited me. I tend not to stay for drinks afterwards because I prefer them to enjoy it on their own. But they invited me, and they said no is not an option. Like you cannot say
yeah,
no. So I accepted, and I had I had a champagne tasting, a quick one with them. That was beautiful. It's true that you can choose your wedding
yeah.
location or venue depending on your wine taste. It's true. That's
Yes,
another
exactly, exactly.
that's another way to pick it up. I never thought about it, but you reminded me. It's true. Bordeaux, I've never been in this area for weddings.
Yeah,
So I still don't know, but I agree. Every year, I discover maybe 10 or 12 new venues
Yeah,
that I've never been to, and I'm always amazed by everything. Like I was in
yeah.
a castle in the near the south of France, and
Hmm.
it was absolutely beautiful, small one, and all the guests, instead of focusing on the ceremony and the bride and groom, they were focusing on looking on Google the history of the place.
Yeah,
It
that's
was so
important. Yeah,
beautiful
exactly.
that we loved it. What about the common misconceptions about weddings in Paris or weddings in France? For example, things that the bride and groom would expect and they're
Mhm.
not here, or the opposite. Do you have any anecdotes or anything that pops up in your mind?
Um, no anecdotes, but that's why it's important to work together with the couple
Hmm.
because and to know exactly what they want. And this is our role to say, no, in France, this is not exactly how we can do. For example, it is useful in, I guess, in America that each guest can choose their own meal in a wedding at a wedding. This
Oh,
is not the case in France. So this
yeah.
is what we explain that you have to choose a single and unique menu for all of your guests. So that's why that's important to discuss with the couple and explain them why it is not possible in France, and we try our best to fit our their expectations, of course, but
Mhm.
sometimes there are things that we cannot do here.
Yeah, especially with big ones, I guess, big
Yeah,
weddings where you have like 100 plus guests.
exactly.
The chef or the traiteur would be probably upset
Yeah.
if you ask him two or three different choice
Exactly.
for the whole group. It will take some time, and etc. etc. It's not
Yeah.
bad will. It's not that he doesn't want to, I think. Um, but yeah, they just want to cater for everyone and to ensure a smooth service. I have a
Exactly.
background in hospitality and restaurants, so I know what it is to be between the chef and the clients.
Mhm.
When the clients are asking something that the chef or is not able to do, sometimes you have to deal with some heat in the kitchen. But this is what it
Yeah,
is.
that's it.
I have another question about the budget,
Mhm.
which is a big deal
Yeah.
for a wedding, probably the biggest point. How do you help couple to manage their budget while still achieving what they want, their dream wedding? How do you proceed? Because you have to cater a special percentage of the big budget to special things. What is the most
Yeah.
important? I'm very ignorant on this, so I'm curious.
Yes. From the very beginning, we itemized everything, and for each item, for each suppliers, vendors, we can say the price, the average,
Mhm.
and of course, some item depends on um, what the couple wants. For example, for the venue, we can have venues cheaper, and we can have venues much more expensive, depending on if they are accommodation,
Mhm.
if it's a castle, etc. But we can, from the beginning, advise our couple on the budget. We can tell them, okay, depending on what you have told us, we can tell that your budget will be between this and this.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you start with that, but then when you have a budget, like let's say for example, just to have a number, like 100,000, for example.
Mhm.
If you have 100,000 budget, Virginie, you have like a dedicated percentage for the venue first, and
Yeah,
then maybe hair and makeup and
exactly.
etc. What is the
Yeah.
biggest one? The biggest expense? Is it the
The
venue, the
two,
food?
yes, the two biggest expensive are venue and catering.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They
This.
represent about 50% of the budget.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I had no clue about this. This is the experience of Virginie here, right in your ear, guys. Like even me doing a lot of weddings, I'm not a wedding planner, obviously, but you could imagine that I have like an ID, a general ID. I
Yeah.
would never have said 50%.
Yeah.
So wow.
Yeah.
That's a big one. And then,
That's
so it
huge.
means that after that, you have to cater the rest of the 50% between
Mhm.
all the rest, which is
Exactly.
a lot of
Photographer,
things.
DJ. Yeah.
Wow. Like a DJ, like hair and makeup,
Photographer,
stylist.
videographer,
Oh, the
musicians.
videographer, obviously,
Yeah.
videographer, music. Wow, that's a lot. So
Yeah.
when people organize their own wedding, they don't know that. They
No,
will
exactly.
probably do some mistakes, like 80% on the venue and then 20% on the rest, this kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly.
How did you come with this number? By experience or?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. I would have no idea. So from there, you have the budget, you have the percentage on each item, and this is when you will start to reach out for vendors and present them to your couple
Yeah.
and organize that. This takes a lot of time. Like how long is the process in general? I guess it's
Um,
different for for every wedding, but an average from the moment of the first
an
consultation.
average is around 100 hours, between 100 and 150 hours to
Wow.
organize everything.
Okay. So do you do last minute events?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. Yes, and we are pretty specialized in this kind of events.
Yeah, I remember. I think we did one once where
Yes.
you hired me. You reached out to me like a very short notice for your
Yeah.
clients. That they thought it was a short notice, but for us it was like no big deal. We can make it happen. No problem. This is what we do.
Yeah, in the event industry, we have to be prepared to have last minute demands, I think. So,
But how do you handle the unexpected? How are you prepared for the unexpected challenges during a wedding? Because what I see, I ask you this question, Virginie, because what I see when I'm on a wedding, when I am going for a ceremony or staying the whole evening for MC, I realize more and more that uh, the whole event is running on you, you know.
yeah.
And I see a lot of wedding planners who are getting overwhelmed by small or big problems. For example, a vendor who doesn't show up,
Mm.
some flower delivery were not here, the food is not ready, or like this is very
Mm.
extreme problems. But
Yeah.
how do you manage this with keeping your cool? Because I've never seen you under. I've seen you under stress, but I've never seen your face under stress. Never. So,
Mhm.
what is your secret?
First, it's my nature not to be stressed and not to. Yeah, well, of course, I'm a bit stressed, but I try not to um, to to appear to be stressed. My face is always smiling. I always smile. So,
Great.
and also the secret is to check everything the week before the wedding.
Okay.
And to me, if you check everything, if you make like a small rehearsal in your head and you say, okay, this vendor, uh, it will come at on the D-Day and everything is prepared for the delivery, etc.
Mhm.
If you do that, I can say that 90% of the unforeseen is um, is okay because you have checked everything. So of course you can have some unexpected things on the day, such as I don't know, there's a strike or there's a lot of traffic and the
Yeah.
photographer is a bit late. Of course, but to me it's a really really small part because I have made this rehearsal before and I have checked everything again and again and again.
So big preparation
Yeah.
before and on the day. it gives you a little, very little room for a coincidence or unexpected things
Exactly.
who are not related to you. Of course, if there is traffic
Of
or a
course.
strike, which both of the things that happen in Paris sometimes. This is not, of course, this is not your responsibility, but you're making the best
Yeah.
to provide and to get the best flow on the event, whatever happens. But this is
Yeah.
for me, this is a skill because I'm not a nervous person, but I am very, I don't know how to say it in English, exigeant. Like my
Hmm.
requirements are higher standards,
Yeah.
and I expect the best from everyone in the industry. But I would have a hard time to be responsible for someone who is not responsible. So
Yeah.
I admire this. For me, it's a skill. I don't have it. That's why I don't do wedding
Yes.
planning.
And that's why it's important to curate the best wedding vendors
Yeah,
because
I agree.
yes, I count on them on the
Yeah,
detail also. So
absolutely. No, it's super important. I always compare wedding planners to chef d'orchestre, the orchestra, the chief
yeah.
chief orchestra. I don't know if it's like this in English, but yeah, you are running the show, and we're working with you as a
Mm.
team, and we both need each other. And yeah, you can. No one can do a wedding on his own. So
Yeah.
I respect that on many wedding planners is that they're conscious of that,
Mhm.
and you will not just go around running everything. You know already everything beforehand. You have a timeline.
Mm.
Everybody knows what they have to do, and the event runs smoothly. There's no secret.
Yes, exactly.
And how do you personalize each wedding for your clients? Because I know you do a lot. You don't only do weddings, you do elopements, which are small ceremonies in Paris. You do vow renewal as well. Is there any
Yeah.
service that you do that I didn't mention?
No, no, no. That's it. That's it.
And how do you personalize each wedding? Because everyone that I do with you is every time different. So
Yeah.
how do you do
Yeah,
that?
it's different because, as I said, the most important for me is to know how they envision their wedding, um, and once I have this is to me the base. And once I have this, we can build together the wedding, and we can start to make different proposition to the couple. So different proposition for the venue,
Mhm.
the caterer, the photographer, etc. And this is the couple decision because we propose things, but they decide. For example, we try to propose between 3 and 5 wedding venues.
Mhm.
So the couple has the choice,
Okay.
and the proposition is made according to their request. So what they want, how they envision their wedding venue, and this is how we built this wedding together.
I see. And when people are telling you what they want, it's always a vision like uh it's not it's often it's not very practical. Like, oh, I imagine a very Parisian wedding, for example,
Mm,
or which makes sense for foreigners or brides who only have the image of Paris in their mind, like the Eiffel
exactly.
Tower and the romance. So this is hard to put into scenery and create an event like this. So how long does it take? Do you propose them like some decoration, for example, or
Mhm.
some interventions like musicians or like a violinist, or do you come
Mhm.
up with practical ideas like that?
Yes, of
And they
course.
accept it. They like it.
Yes, sometimes they don't like it and they say, no,
Yeah,
it's
of
not
course.
for us. But
Okay,
it's my
perfect.
job to propose a lot of things and to say what's possible and what is used to do during weddings. And they
Hmm.
say, oh, yes, okay, it's totally for us, or no, it's not for us. So we do propose a lot of things and they decide.
I agree, and I could not agree more because this is exactly what I do as well for my ceremonies.
Mm-hmm.
The couple are the center. I'm not the protagonist. I repeat this often for people who know me. I am not the protagonist of the wedding. This is your wedding, not mine.
Mm.
So I tend to propose a lot of different things for the ceremony, for the script, for what I will say, the tone, if it's going to be fun, if it's going to be very formal, serious, and their job, their only job to the couple is to come back to me and give me their most honest feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Naim,
Yeah.
we really like that, or Naim, we don't like that. This is too serious for us. We want something more fun, and that's the most important thing, I think, to stay in the center,
Yes.
and know what they want. Usually gives the best results.
Yeah. Sure.
So, what do you plan for Ceremonize or ceremonies for your business, for your company? Do you have any things that you want to share for the year to come, for 2025, so it's the new season? I know we're in the middle of the season right now. We're recording this
Mm.
in June 2024. So I know that you will probably think about this in the next months. But do you have something in your mind that you want to share for our guests?
Yes, we are, as you said, we are in the peak season, but we are thinking about the 2025 season, and we are trying to go abroad ourselves and
Okay.
to plan destination weddings. So not only in France, but we will plan destination weddings next year.
Oh, okay, that's great. Do you have any country in mind? Special
Yes,
country?
we have Crete in
Oh my
Greece
God.
and
Take me with you,
Portugal.
please.
I will
Oh
think
my
about
God.
you.
Okay. Oh, Portugal is amazing. I've seen
Yeah,
that there's a lot of like there is a trend in both of these countries, so you must be aware of this as well. But Portugal is very trendy. I see it
yeah,
very often these days. So good idea,
yeah.
good spot.
Thank you.
Um, Virginie, thank you. It was so great to have you today. Do you have anything that you want to share again with the audience before we wrap up?
No, I think we talked about everything. So the most important is really to make your wedding a unique wedding that resembles you, integrating your culture, etc. So that's important.
I agree, and this is the best way to do that is to reach out to a professional wedding planner like you. So a little bit of promotion here, as always. You can reach out to Virginie. I will provide her website directly on the show notes, so you can click and connect and get a consultation with her and talk to her about your ideas. And this is my time to say thank you, Virginie. Thank you for
Thank
your
you, Naim.
time. And I'm sure that we're going to cross each other this year
Yeah.
or next during a beautiful event that you will organize. And I would be very happy to share a glass of champagne to celebrate our
Yes,
success.
I'm always, yeah, it would be nice. Thank you
Thanks
very
a
much,
lot.
Naim.
Merci beaucoup et à bientôt.
Merci. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to the French Wedding Show. If you want to know more about our guest today, you can go to the show notes and find all the relevant links. Also, have a look at my website, theparisiancelebrant.com, also in the show notes. If you want to start to plan your wedding ceremony or elopement in Paris or anywhere in France. I look forward to hear your ideas. Thank you again so much for listening and see you soon for another episode.